Who would have thought that seating arrangements would turn into my living arrangement? I walked into that spaceship and chose that seat. Picking that seat was a coincidence that led to the best friendship ever. I know I said spaceship, you must think I'm tripping. That's right, the feeling felt like a trip to outer space, an experience out of this cruel world that led to true love. Whenever I reminisce about this white spaceship, I look above and thank God for this rare love. It's like a guardian angel sent straight from heaven. Good day, guys. Siyabonga Kwanele here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Igama lami nguSiyabonga Kwanele, and welcome to my first YouTube video. So namhlanje Living with Diabetes series, i-guest yami ubaba wami owangizala. Good day, guys. Siyabonga Kwanele here, and welcome to another episode of the Living with Diabetes series. So, what you just saw was a poem titled Spaceship from my upcoming Millennium Thoughts poetry book. The reason why I chose to read that poem specifically is because it's about the first day yami ngihlangana nalo sisi engizobe ngihleli naye namhlanje. Sahlangana kwi-shuttle, igama lakho Aphiwe Gumede. Sawubona sis.
Hello.
Unjani?
Ngiyaphila unjani?
Ngiyaphila. So, as you know, in the Living with Diabetes series, and I ask you to be guest yami kule episode because I think wadlala irole enkulu in my road to self-acceptance, and as you can see, the title of the episode is self-acceptance. That's why I decided to kube uwena i-guest yami kuyona le episode. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I hope so wazi ukuthi sibe ne conversation kahle nje lana. Sibe be ourselves, like singabi nervous or anything, sikhulume nje as we usually do.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. And thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation. Esobe siba nayo mina now.
okay.
And hoping to shed light on the process yakho ye self-acceptance from viewpoint yakho and the viewpoint yomuntu obekade upartner wakho from the beginning of your journey.
Okay. So let's get straight into it. What do you remember about the 8th of February 2016?
Usuku as a whole, I don't remember it, but I do remember that moment, Shuttle. And nakhona, I wouldn't say ukuthi that date was significant. Obviously, it became significant in hindsight. Mina now it says develop our relationship, but it was a normal day for me on campus. I was a second year nursing student at that time, and ngihlalele ebhasini angisakhumbuli noma ela 12 noma ela 2, but I know for sure it wasn't 4 o'clock. Yeah. And I remember I was sitting with 2-seater side because lama shuttles sasiwagibela at the time. The left side was a 2-seater side, the right side was a 3-seater. So mina ngihleli with 2-seater by the window side, and I had my bag on the empty seat next to me with my headsets on, and nakhona I don't remember there anything playing at that time through my headsets, like a song or whatever, but I do know Guti, I was on WhatsApp and I was a class rep at that time. So I had sent a message to my classmates because we had a group chat with the entire class, and I had sent out a message to them that was somewhat of a joke, and their responses made me laugh. So as I painted the scenario, isikhwama sami besihleli kwi-empty seat, ngifake ama-headsets, bengingadlali anything at that time, but bengifocused efonini, and then I just remember having like a shadow or a body standing over me. I didn't even look at that person, but ngikhumbula ngisusa isikhwama ngasibeka on my lap, and wahlala-ke lo muntu. Again, I'm not acknowledging who or what this person was, whether it was a female or a male, but there was a moment in time where a few moments passed, and ngahleka something that was happening on my phone during the chat with my classmates at the time. And upon me laughing, lo muntu ohleli eduze kwami wayesephasa comment, and because I wasn't playing anything at that time, ngimzwile. And as common courtesy, noma ungalaleli anything on your headset, uzoyisusa i-headset yakho just to show acknowledgement to lo muntu ohleli eduze kwakho ukuthi uyamuzwa, uyamlalela, you're willing to engage with them. And I think the comment that you had passed after realizing that it was a male figure who was you, of course, you had said something along the lines of "Shuthi iyahlekisa-ke lento oyibuka lapho," or something like that. And from then on, ayikho into engasho ukuthi it stood out from that point, because the bus trip was a 30-minute bus trip from Howard campus to Westville campus. And it was a conversation, Jay, that people had. And then towards the end of that bus conversation, before we arrived to our stop at Westville campus, you had asked for my contacts, and I gave them to you. Nakona, like I said, it wasn't Uguti. Our interaction with Pasini stood out to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is my dream guy, or this is, you know what I mean? Like it was a platonic back and forth where I didn't think anything of it. And even upon giving you my contacts, I didn't think Guguti, oh my word, I'm looking forward to this person texting me. I'm not saying you were uninteresting or anything like that, but again, I had no investments upon our interaction back then. And so when you did eventually text me, and again, it wasn't that same day, I think it was a day or two later, it wasn't something I was overly anticipating. Nakona, when you did text me after that, it was a matter of, I think you were texting me because Gwaksane Traiki back then, so we were asking each other about bus times, and
I forgot that.
yeah, you see, so it wasn't like anything stand outside. You know those people that are gonna be on some. It was love at first sight. I knew when I met him, or I knew when I met her. For me, it wasn't like that, to be honest. And it's not to take away from your character or anything like that. It's just I wasn't at that headspace. Uguti, you know, I don't know how to articulate that, but Gingasho Uguti, the rest was history, because everything didn't happen like seamlessly, where it was like we met at Pasini, he started texting me, and we've been texting all night, every night. Ngalali, no, it was nothing like that. Now you can contest to that.
Yeah, no, uqinisile
Yeah.
because mina I just got another of a heartbreak.
Me too.
Sengishilo.
Yeah.
And mina ngokwami ngangine-hit list nje.
You're on a mission.
Ngangizohlapazisa.
Yeah.
Because I was heartbroken. So mina I was nervous. Ngangazi ukuthi ngingene kanjani, like how to say hello, because mina umuntu nginojam. So ngesikhathi uhleka ngihlezi ngiyibuza ukuthi ngabe ngilaphi emhlabeni ethiwa zange uhleke on that day, because
and it's funny because when wawuyibuza ukuthi uzongena kanjani, whereas on my end it was I didn't even pay attention to you. It wasn't like, oh my word, like nanganake nokuthi hlobo lune human ehleli eduze kwami. It was, for me, it was just a regular day. Common courtesy ukuthi isikhwama khona uzo-accommodate umuntu ahlale ebhasini. It wasn't ukuthi yabo kanjani. Even when we were having a conversation ebhasini, or when you asked for my numbers, it wasn't a thing for me where it was like, oh my word. There were no thoughts or nervous feelings towards you or the interaction we had. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you were on a mission. For me, in as much as you were heartbroken and I was heartbroken, you were on a mission. For me, my mission was I need to exercise the self-care, like work on myself, not be in a relationship, because I wasn't looking for a relationship at that point in my life. I wasn't looking for even the or whatever you were saying. Like, I wasn't looking for anything casual. I wasn't looking for anything serious. I was just looking on working towards myself. So for me, Ufe 48, I remember those details only because now, in hindsight, job a relationship, it forces me to. But if nothing came of us, February 8, bunge to stand it out.
So njengoba dosushilo ukuthi kanjena wanganginake nokunaka no hard feelings, wanganginakile nje at all.
Yeah.
Before I told you that I smoke weed, did you notice that lo muntu high? Because phela sakhuluma phela at the end of the day sakhuluma the whole trip. Did you notice at some point, no, this guy's high?
No, because I would also play it on setting papers. Because I'm a seat for saying big phambili in a way. You understand what I'm trying to say? So no man geek bega, it's not guaranteed with now when you and I made eye contact or things was I cannot say. So no, I couldn't tell you were high. I didn't know you were high, and I wasn't exposed to people who smoke weed a lot. So I couldn't tell the tells ukuthi umuntu mayekanje usuke epemile or kanjani. So the answer is no.
Okay, no, okay, all right. Okay, sahamba sazwana-ke sabangani. And kwafika kule point la I told you about my diabetes, because I think it was a week or two later. What do you remember about that day? Mina ngitshela ukuthi I'm diabetic, and when I told you, what was your internal reaction and external reaction?
Yeah, it was a few weeks after we had met because, like I said, you hadn't texted me immediately after giving you my context. It was a few days. Now, Kona, even when you did text me, it wasn't conversations that had led to us wanting to jump to meet with each other. The day that we actually had met with each other, aside from Muklangane Pasim, was when I was going to Westville campus on a weekend just to study and do my own things. So you took the opportunity for us to meet, and I said yes. So that whole day we had spent it together as Cecilia, and we were just chatting. And it was nothing nakona it wasn't romantic or anything, but it was just two people chilling, talking. And
Drinking
the conversation
wine. Drinking wine.
Yeah. Because you came with wine and Doritos. Blue Doritos. Sweet chili. And so yeah. And the conversation, it's not like I was steering it towards or it was a conversation that was deep that had led you to revealing that. But when you did, honestly, I didn't think to myself, Uguti, or what, because I honestly thought you were open about it up until thereafter you told me, Uguti, not too many people know Uguti diabetic because it's not something you reveal. So the way I expressed it externally, I didn't physically show shock. I didn't physically show any judgment to you. I think I just kept the conversation moving. I think I was like, oh, okay, so how long have you been? And then you told me, and it was just like that. And then internally, I think it was that as well because Langagagwas, let's be honest, we didn't know each other that much for me to have any internal
didn't know
thoughts.
Each other at all.
Yeah. So I didn't have any thoughts for me ngawe at that point for me to internalize something about your diabetes. Nakon, it's not because I didn't care, but I couldn't pass judgment.
So I guess my next question, I wouldn't say it's useless, but I have to ask it. Judging from from your observation, why did you at the time think I decided to tell you about my diabetes so soon? So the question is, you're telling me at that time, why did you think? But I think also you there because no more should you kept it going. Asize manje from your observation yakho manje usungazi. Why do you think I decided to tell you so soon about my diabetes, judging from ukuthi I kept it secret?
Hindsight is 2020. So my hindsight is telling me ukuthi when you would already subconsciously, I suppose, ubusufuna ukuyi-accepta abantu bakwazi now. That's me and my hindsight. But at that time, I didn't know because I thought it's part of your introduction in Deutsche Band. So finding out that it's not a lot of people who told you, I was like, oh, okay. And then, yeah, now in hindsight, I'm thinking to myself,
Who told me or who I told?
like, who you told about your diabetes. Yeah, because now in hindsight, finding out not a lot of people that you told about your diabetes and uzotshela I mean, I think now it subconsciously was your way of trying to show me or subconsciously say ukuthi ufuna ukuyi-accept in a way.
All right.
Because I don't think there was anything special about me that could have made you think, oh, let me tell this girl. And I could also flip that question to you, why is it that you decided to tell me of all people? Do you not also think it was a subconscious decision? Nawe usufed up, usufuna ukuyi-accept and stuff.
You got me thinking. You got me thinking. Le nto liqeda yisho manje.
Yeah.
Asiqala uba nama-conversation acishe abe kanje.
Yeah.
But le nto yisho manje, you never said it. I always ask you this question off camera.
And I've always flipped it back to you because Leo question kuba ngathi, what significant thing or what thing did you do different that other people didn't do in Siyabonga's life that made Siyabonga wanna open up to you? Like, fuck, though, I don't think there's anything I did different. Understand what I'm trying to say? I just think ukuthi when I, as a person, usuphilile nalento and we were really stranger because now we were chilling together that day and we were strangers, and you just decided to tell a stranger, no, I'm diabetic. And unfortunately for you, that stranger didn't impose judgment. I think that's another thing that allowed us to even further our friendship at that point.
Yeah, I think if you asked me before le nto ishilo, i-answer bengizoba nayo ukuthi why I decided to tell you.
And you've told me your answer before.
I-answer yami ukuthi ngangikubona ukuthi umuntu.
That's always been your answer.
Ngangikubona ukuthi umuntu engimtshela into ekanje umuntu engamthemba in a way, because before in the past I remember telling my ex ukuthi ngi-diabetic, kwakusayikhathi zomixed. She went and okay, kwakuyiphutha lami-ke ngangamtshela ukuthi hayi watshela umuntu ukuthi I'm-diabetic. Ko-mixed wawuhlangana nomuntu ongamazi social media, watshela intombazane esasifunda naye high school ngoba ushuthiwa ngifunde ML. Wathi ufunda ML manje Siyabonga kanjani? Washo no, sometimes I'm worried ngayo ngoba ngibona u-diabetic. Sengibona ngentombazane esizongitshela manje ukuthi I'm diabetic. Ngithi mina hawu utshele ubani? She says ukuthi hayi ex yakho intombi yakho at the time. Awu, then I went to uyisho kanjani lento manje ukuthi yabo. So from there I was like, yabona manje wonke amantombazane engeke ngaba involved now besides my ex at that time ngangabatsheli. So mengifika kwena-ke ngangakubona as a potential girlfriend noma ngangisho ngangizo
I was on a hit list.
But I was like, this girl is intelligent. Ngabona from the first day. As much as I was speaking the most on the 8th of February, ngabona no, right? So I decided to tell you. But that's always been my answer.
Yeah.
Right now, usungenza ukuthi manje kumele ngiyohlala phansi nami ngishaye introspection.
Because again, every time you ask me that question, kuba ngathi the honor should be on me. You made this guy feel comfortable. No, for me it's subconsciously this guy, because I don't feel Uguti I gave you anything to make you want to open up about something like that. You understand what I'm trying to say? When Usunga showed, because you were just saying, Uti, from our first encounter, Pasini, you saw someone who was mature and intelligent, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And someone you felt like you can trust. And again, I appreciate and I thank you, because I glue Lugu to Temple Moon nowadays. So for you to feel so comfortable with me, it means a lot. So I'm not taking away from what I have as well, but I also don't want you to take away from where you were at that time. You understand? So I do feel like ukuthi now also kuleso simo because after then everything just happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, ngisazohlala phansi ngicabange le nto yakho.
Yeah.
Okwamanje ngaphela i-hour mekuthi ngizama ukuyi-internalize. So into engizokubuza yona nje manje ukuthi ngitshela-ke, what was your basic understanding about diabetes? And even now, what's your basic understanding about diabetes?
You met me as a nursing student. So in nursing village, part of our course, our job to know about chronic diseases and stuff like that. So I did have a basic understanding at that time. So what I do understand about diabetes is that there's two types. There's type 1 and then there's type 2. The type 1 is the, I would say, genetic or the predisposed type. Labantu abazalwe bevele bengenayo i-pancreas esebenza kahle. So that's why from a young age you find yourself being diagnosed with type 1, meaning that the pancreas yakho does not produce either sufficient or any insulin for your body to regulate the glucose levels in emzimbeni. That's why from a young age you have to start injecting yourself physically with insulin. And then kuba ne-type 2 that is induced by i-lifestyle yomuntu. So i-lifestyle yomuntu iya ekutheni i-pancreas iyayiproduce i-insulin e-right enough engakhona ukuthi ikwazi ukuregulate the glucose levels emzimbeni womuntu, but because you overconsume glucose or sugar high foods or lifestyle yakho nje in general, whether it's alcohol, whether it's sweet things, whether it's things that are high in carbohydrates, but you don't do anything to combat that or balance that or meet your pancreas halfway, i-pancreas yakho ihambe ikhathale. So you need to meet it halfway with medications. So type 2 is avoidable, type 1 is unavoidable because it's something that is predisposed on you. Into ngeke ukwazi uku-avoid that because isitho sakho somzimba siyahluleka on its own without you even trying or damaging it.
So did you know all that then or into yaze manje?
Then I had a basic idea ukuthi type 1 uzalwa nayo in a sense. It's at that time I knew it as juvenile diabetes ukuthi abantu abasesebancane abadiagnoswa ngayo type 1.
Yeah.
Type 2 na waziwa typically as abantu aba-overweight abathe ukubadala. Nakhona ngazi nakhona because both my parents were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So yeah, I had that basic understanding. So for me, when you did tell me, it was like, oh dang, I actually finally met someone who is living my textbook.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess lento diabetes ngoba usho ukuthi both your parents were diagnosed.
Yeah.
Mina la ekhaya my parents don't have diabetes.
Yeah.
It's iy'ngane.
Yeah.
Mina noZanele usisi wami.
Yeah.
So ile nto ngisho ukuthi mesikhuluma ngalezi zinto more ziyasiza because almost everyone I tell ukuthi I'm diabetic. Or at that time ngisafihla, I would tell. They would say, how? Yazi mina khona engimaziyo nami usisi wami hayi nje usisi wami mhlawumbe athi umkhulu wami noma uma unoshukela, and usho umuntu omdala akekho sawa nje
nakhona so njengoba ekutshela hayi ngoba mhlawumbe kanjani, it's because engazi ukuthi there's two different types.
Yeah,
we are more exposed to the lifestyle kind of diabetes, not the inherent or the juvenile diabetes le umuntu azalwe ngoba isitho somzimba singasebenzi. We're more exposed to the lifestyle kind of. So yeah, I understand that into abantu abayishoyo. So for me, that's why I go back to your question, my reactions. I suppose my internal reaction was I finally got to meet someone where in my textbook they talk about type 1 and I'm like, oh shit, I'm sitting next to someone who's type 1. But I didn't have a judgment to say, oh God, does he? No, it wasn't like a fascination almost.
So would you say that made you want to know more about me? Like ukwazi
it did pique my interest, not in a romantic way or but as a person, so uphila kanjani?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Walida kumbuza amalanga.
And funny enough, sihleli nawe siphuza iwayini sidle ama-Doritos. Uphila kanjani? Like, you're normal. So for me, it was like, because with textbooks, they paint a picture of
Don't do
umuntu
this.
doom and gloom, ahleli ephethe and it's like I'm sitting next to a normal, been talking with them, we literally sipping on wine together, snacking together.
Did you know at that
I
time
was
it
intrigued.
young Pam? Also was for sure. I also was. I think I told you the first day. I think the first day I spoke the most.
No, on the bus you didn't tell me you smoke weed.
But also was that time.
I think what I did know was that upemukwai because ufayazwakala.
Oh, you smelled it.
Yeah. Entango njengoba ngisho ukuthi I wasn't privy a lot to abantu ababhema ugwayi oyixilo intsango because ugwayi my father smoked.
Okay.
Yeah, so
alright ke yeah, okay, ngoba uthi wawuzwa kugwayi. Soon after that wazi nge-weed because sasesazana more. I think even that day ngakutshela ukuthi ngibhema i-weed khona lapho sihlele Westville campus. As-ke umuntu one-understanding about diabetes, leyo basic understanding as you are studying towards nursing. What did you think about me ngibhema
ubhema intsango
nogwayi
again
ngi-diabetic like kwangekho kwena ukuthi phela this is why ngangisaba ukutshela abantu ukuthi I'm diabetic because abantu bezothi
okay so umuntu okay ngingasho ukuthi umuntu mina ngokwami just because I'm studying nursing doesn't mean ukuthi I've seen these memes ukuthi don't date a nurse because when they look in your eyes they see diseases, they see
people like
look into your eyes, they ask you, are you sick? Are you or whatever the fuck? I mean, I'm a nurse when I have to be a nurse, and then I'm who I am outside of. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I didn't apply knowledge me for me to then judge you or to
point a finger
ngithi wenza kanjani ngoba ngifunda ukuthi kanjani. No, like I said, both my parents were type 2 diabetics. My dad was a smoker at that time, a heavy cigarette smoker at that time, and a drinker, and I lived with him and uyaphila. So when ubani-ke sengizofika kuwena ngithi bhema intsango, bhema ugwayi, no, like sonke sinamavayisi elifini. Mina nami ongenayo i-chronic disease nginamavayisi ami, and I wouldn't like omunye umuntu ukuthi magnify amavayisi ami to what it is they think I should be. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, you had vices at that time. You were smoking to cope, and I don't know with what, and I understood that. But I'm not gonna then magnify your vices and then be like, because you're diabetic, you should be, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think too deep for you because literally, like I was trying to allude to, you're just another human being sitting next to me because you're an example of what my textbooks was talking about. But then at the same time, I'm sitting with you and I'm chilling, variety. We're sipping wine together, we're snacking together, and it's like, no, but man, so why am I then gonna impose judgment on you because you choose to have vices? You understand what I'm trying to say?
I remember though, ebhasini ungibuza ukuthi sasesazane close to a month there.
Yeah, and we started spending a lot of time together.
Yeah,
like every day.
Ebhasini, yeah. Sibuzana ukuthi awuhamba ngebhasi yaba.
Yeah.
So you asked me ukuthi okay. Not that you were judging me, not that I'm judging you, but are you planning to smoke for the rest of your life since I'm diabetic? And when I was like, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get a wake up call. That's what I said. Maybe one day I'll get a wake up call. So yeah, should see wake up call. Yeah,
I figure eventually. But for me, yeah, because I do believe it's not. ngangakwazi bengafuna ukujwayela kabi in a nutshell because ake sibe honest, umuntu ongamazi kahle afike abe nesliphethe empilweni yakho abeze aphinde azoyiflipha leyo trust oyinsile kubona yokuvuleka to them, baphinde bazoyiflipa bathi kodwa ukwenzelani ukuthi nokuthi. Of course you're gonna shut off and be like, have your walls raised right up and be like, fuck you, I'm not gonna listen to you. And that's what I'm trying to say, because that person doesn't take time to understand you and the journey that you've been through. So for me, it was a matter of angwas. I would love to get an understanding of you. That's why I asked you that question. Ekutheni wena ngokwakho ungathanda nini ukuyeka. And if you said I don't know, ngizokushiya lapho. Angeke ngiphinde ngikupreacheleke yabo, because I don't believe that's how you should interact with abantu.
And that's how it is, ngempela, because I remember I would shut you off.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Umuntu azongitshela ukuthi uyabhema nawe uyaphuza. Uzongitshela ukuthi angeke ukubhema nokuphuza. Okay, not to say isimo asifani, they're not diabetic, I'm diabetic. Yabo. Kunjalo.
And
I get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Like,
they care.
They care.
Yeah.
Kodwa manje kunzima umuntu uthi akutshela ukuthi wenze into abe eyenza naye. So mina ngokwami,
and funny enough, mina at that time I met you, angangaphuzi. Wasn't into any of that. So it would have been easy for me to say, Pope Milan, you understand what I'm trying to say? Because if into ngenalo ulwazi ngayo kakhulu, you tend to be a bit ignorant and judgmental about it. So for me, I'm more of someone who wants to come at you in a point of understanding you. So I think that's what I did with you, and I think it worked.
It did, ngoba shuthi wena kahle kahle yonke lento echazayo ukholela kakhulu kule saying. Angisakhumbuli the exact words, but it say one phone pingers at the other and 3 point back.
Right back at you. Yeah.
Mina sengifika nokwami-ke the other one, which is the thumb, it points at God.
For real.
I've never heard
God
it.
Can judge.
I've never heard it anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm pointing at you,
real.
but he's pointing at me. The thumb is pointing at God. So
for me,
you're also judging God. I used to learn it before. It's something I've written. They say we are made in the image of God. So if you're judging me, you're judging God indirectly. Because I'm made in His image.
For sure.
So only He can judge me. So
another thing, ukuthi sonke sinama-vice.
Yeah.
Akubona wonke ama-vice asetshwaleni or esekubhemeni. Kodwa sonke sama-vice. Some people's vices are gossiping, some people's vices are porn, some people's vices are gambling, we all have a vice. So I cannot come at you because society chooses to condemn those who smoke or condemn those who drink. Because at the end of the day, I carry my own. It's just that society chooses not to magnify it as much as they do other vices. It's just that society chooses not to magnify it as much as they do other vices. Okay, mina, I guess I'm going to to you. Wena, did you have any fears about being a new dad, knowing which way you're living a double life?
Like I've said before, I wasn't ready for the responsibility.
Yeah.
Because nangi careless, I wasn't ready for the responsibility. Even the image yami ngangayiboni kubaba. As much as I wanted the family, like I said,
eventually,
but ngangayiboni.
Yeah.
Like dready, I was thin.
You gotta put a bit.
I was skinny, so I'm a skirt. Yabona nje, so iloko nje ukuthi I'm gonna be a father. Ngizosho kanjani ekhaya yabonke leyo nto. But the only fear was that I didn't know what type 1 diabetes was genetic. As much as I didn't know much about diabetes, I didn't know it was genetic. I did have a fear, what if my son uzalwa enayo.